A mulher. remember in the movie, he tried to pick up.
It's so important to know who you are, you know?
I respect that.
You know, I don't want to be the kind of person who just goes and just like puts on fake beer.
we have